Finding out we were pregnant was very scary for me because we lost 2 pregnancies before. Being through what I had been through in the past, I automatically was thinking the worst. Jordan was actually born about 4 months early.
You know, it's really hard, the what ifs and you know, the things that can happen for him being a preemie and, you know, you got all this running through your head.
He was in the NICU for 4 months. Right around the time that I was supposed to be due is when we got to bring him home. He kept thriving, hitting all the milestones. He crawled, he walked, he talked. We thought this was it. We have a healthy, beautiful 4-year-old little boy. We got into January of 2020. Jordan has some type of an episode in the middle of our kitchen. His dad's calling for him, but Jordan's not answering. He's just standing there. Then all of a sudden, he just wets himself. We took him to Children's, and once we get to the hospital, he has another episode. At that point, the seizures kept coming back to back. The way I felt was scared to death.
He came into the hospital with seizures, and I hooked him up probably the 2nd or 3rd time. The EEG tests for seizures and anything that will change the patient neurologically.
The team was really trying to understand, of all the reasons that you could have difficult to control, abrupt onset epilepsy, which did he have? Jordan was monitored for many days.
Towards the 3rd week that we were at Children's, he was having over 50 seizures a day. And he asked, "Mommy, when is it gonna stop?" To have him ask questions and us not having an answer, it's the hardest thing.
Our neuroradiologists were able to find out that he had an abnormality in the development of his brain that he was actually born with. As soon as we knew that he had this abnormality, his parents and I started to discuss that he might need surgery.
I didn't know how to react to that. I couldn't imagine that happening to him. But after everything we went through, you gotta weigh your options and enter Dr. Price.
Jordan's diagnosis is something we call cortical dysplasia in the right frontal region, right at this area here. And we saw this on the MRI. We saw EEG that looked like the seizures were coming from this area.
All the doctors, technicians, Dr. Price, they get together and we discuss everything that happens, and everyone's input is involved.
And we put all of this information together to decide that the best thing that we could do for Jordan was take this area out.
The day of the surgery, I was okay up until the time that they took him into the operating room.
We wanted to be with him the whole time. Gave him a big kiss and a hug, and we let him know that he's gonna be okay, he's in the right hands. Mom and Dad's gonna be here waiting for you.
Because we're such a tight-knit group, I have Dr. Armstrong and her team come into the operating room, and we place little contacts all over the brain to actually look at the epilepsy activity coming from the brain itself. And so the patient gets a whole team and a whole group of people rather than one doctor here and one doctor there.
The day after surgery, he was up and walking around the hospital. I cried with joy.
We kept his seizure meds unchanged, then we slowly tapered them down. And then our last visit in clinic was one of those moments where, I want to keep scheduling his follow-ups all the time and keep seeing him, but I said, you don't have to come see me. He's a graduate.
My husband called her our angel. She came out of maternity leave just to help our son, That's how much she cares. They're lifesavers, for sure.
When you're part of an epilepsy surgery team, knowing that you can trust your team members is of critical importance. UT Southwestern's commitment to excellence comes together.
I can't imagine working in a center that doesn't have the collaboration that we have between Children's and UT Southwestern and UT Southwestern and Children's.
You can feel we are one big cohesive team. We strive for excellence and we share the same goal.
To see him 2 years seizure-free and him just being a kid, it's a blessing.
When I look at my son, it's just hard to believe that I could love something so much. Jordan loves life.
It's really helpful to think through cases like Jordan's and remind yourself that we have the ability to make life that much better for these kids.
All right.